Hello, my friends, and welcome to this part of our writing course into which we are going to discuss punctuation marks, go through them one by one, and know how to use them in order to make our pieces of writing, whether they are paragraphs, essays, articles, or any other type of pieces of writing, professional. As you see here, my friends, I have divided this course into two parts. The first part starts from the period till the quotation marks, while the second part is going to start from the braces and ends at the double dagger. Actually, my friends, the idea of this course came from, let's say, well, my friends, to tell the truth, my friends, the idea of this course came from an article I have read about 3 or 4 months ago in one of the famous periodics that is interested in English literature, and highlighted that more than 90% of English learners, whether those who are learning English for academic reasons, for example, to take the IELTS, the TOEFL, the PTE, or the proficiency exams of the universities, or those who want to prepare their thesis in master degree or PhD, or even publish some articles, or they are even interested in English literature, or those who are learning English to develop their writing skills. More than 90% of them, my friends, couldn't recognize how to use most of the common punctuation marks, like the question mark, like the exclamation point, the dash, and some of them didn't know even what the semicolon is. In this course, my friends, we are going to have classes, separated and independent ones. In each class, we are going to take one of these punctuation marks in isolation, study it, dissect it into depth, and know when to use it and when not to use it, and the most common mistakes some students have been making in the IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, and proficiency exams, or those who are publishing their articles in the most famous periodics in the world. Now, my friends, which one of these punctuation mark we are going to talk about today? I will give you the choice to choose. Well, correct. We are going to talk about this one. Now, my friends, let's start talk about it and dissect it into depth. Now, my friends, let's start with the the question mark. As you all know, my friends, a question mark from its name used in questions, specifically direct questions. As you all know, we have two types of questions, direct questions and indirect questions. In the direct questions, we use the auxiliary or the WH question. Generally, we have two types of direct questions, the yes-no questions. Those begin with an auxiliary like do, does, who, have, has, am, is, are, was, where, had, or they start with a modal. In here we have two examples. Do you speak Spanish? The answer is either yes, I do, or no, I don't. Can you come with me? The answer should be either yes, I can, or no, I cannot. In here, my friends, those are yes-no questions or short questions, while the other type of question is the WH questions, like how are you, how old are you, where are you from, and the others. And the answers of these questions should be full sentences. In here, my friends, we're not talking about questions. We are only talking about question marks, so that I will not go through such a complicated case. Well, the second use of a question mark is to be used within a quotation. And a quotation, my friends, is when you report what someone else said. Generally, a quotation is when you report someone, for example, famous like Shakespeare, like a famous politician, a famous athlete, or a famous actor. So in here, my friends, within a quotation, we have two situations. The first one, when the quoted part is a whole question. In here, my friend, the question mark goes inside the quotation mark. In this example here, she asked, "Are you okay?" And before I start here, my friends, I would like to mention very important point. You all see that sometimes we have this type of quotation marks, and sometimes this type. This type is called double quotation marks, and here we have single quotation marks. Generally, those are Americans and those are British, and both of them are correct. So you can use the one you like, but generally, when you start using one of them, please try to stick to it till the end of your essay or your paragraph. Don't try to use both of them together, because this could confuse the examiner. Generally, my friends, here we have she asked, "Are you okay?" In here, my friends, I am reported what she asked, "Are you okay?" And everything she said in the quotation is the question or a whole question. That's why the question mark goes inside the quotation marks in here. In the other part, my friend, the quoted part is a part of the entire question. It is not a question by itself. In here, my friend, the question mark goes outside the quotation. Let's take this example. Did he really say, "I am not coming"? So what I am reporting here, my friend, is "I am not coming." And the whole question is, did he really say, "I am not coming"? So this quotation is nothing but a part of the entire question. That's why the question mark goes outside the quotation marks. In here, my friends, the third use is to indicate a doubt or uncertainty. In here, my friends, this use is rare and informal. So generally, we avoid using question marks to indicate doubt or uncertainty. Let me give you an example here. Like we have talking, two people talking. As you all know, Marie Curie is a very famous scientist, whom a lot of people believe that she is from France, but generally Marie Curie is Polish. She's from Poland. So when I tell my friend, "Do you know that Marie Curie is not French, she's Polish?" he's going to show some uncertainty or doubt about what I said, and he could say, "Marie Curie is French." And in here, my friends, the structure of the sentence is not a question, but the way the question or the way the sentence is being said refers or indicate to a doubt or uncertainty as a question. In here, say, "Marie Curie is not French. Are you sure?" In here, my friend, the question, the real question is here, "Are you sure?" But the first part was not a question. It has the tone of a question, but the structure of a normal sentence. And in here, my friends, I would like to mention a very important point. Do not use a question mark in two cases. The first one, don't use it at the end of an indirect questions. Again, my friends, we said that we have direct questions and indirect questions. At the end of a direct question, we use a question mark, but at the end of the indirect question, we use generally the period or the dot, as we are going to explain later. But here, my friends, I would like to say that don't use a question mark at the end of indirect question, like this example. "I wonder where Sarah is." In here, my friends, you cannot use the question mark. All you need to use is the point. The second piece of advice, my friends, or say the second note is, don't use the question mark multiple times for one question. A lot of, let's say, starters or major writers think that if you want to emphasize that this question is important, they try to write or repeat the question mark 3 or 4 times, which doesn't make any sense in English. Maybe in other cultures, for example, like the Turkish culture, the Arabic culture, generally We can write the question mark more than one time to emphasize the point, but in here, in our culture, in the English culture, we don't use it at all. Well, that's it for today. My friends, I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video and learned how to use the punctuation mark we explained today. And I hope, my friends, that in the future you are going to be capable of using this punctuation mark correctly and precisely and accurately in the pieces of writing you are going to go through in the future. Again, my friends, allow me before I finish this class to remind you of the importance of punctuation marks course for all English learners, whether those who are preparing for their TOEFL, IELTS, PTE, or proficiency exams, or those who are writing their thesis, articles for PhD and master degree. And also, my friends, for those who are looking for a good job and to improve their careers, which are related to writing. For us, my friends, the English people, punctuation marks are very important, so be careful while using them. So, my friends, if you haven't understood one of the points or one of the uses of the punctuation mark we have talked about today, please try to play this video again and try to play some Kahoot games which are going to be related to the same punctuation mark. Again, my friends, study harder to get better. Thank you and see you in the next class. Goodbye.